Hello and welcome to the Monday, March 17th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and today I'm recording from Jacksonville, Florida. First, I want to start out today with a quick congratulations to our SANS.edu graduates. We had our commencement in DC on Saturday, and this class, the class of 2024, we did graduate almost 500 students. Quite a ways from the early days where we had maybe 2, 3, 5, I think, at some of the first years. In diaries this weekend, nothing really earth-shattering, some kind of interesting scans for DrayTek Vigor Routers. These routers have been attacked for quite a few years now. Actually, 2024, there was a new set of vulnerabilities that was being released, but pretty much ever sort of since 2020, they have been attacked, have been scanned for. What's a little bit different here for these attacks is that they're quite a bit more aggressive than some of the earlier ones. Looks like, some Mirai variant picked up on this. And as far as I can tell, they're actually malformed and don't work. Remember, attackers don't have SLAs. If they throw 100 exploits at you, one of them sticks, and that's really all they need. So I think they never really noticed that this particular exploit they added here recently doesn't actually do anything. At least that's my opinion here on it. In the CGI-bin part of the URL, they omitted the dash, so it's just CGI-bin. I don't think that'll work for vulnerable routers. I may be wrong. Please tell me if there is some other exploit or so they're trying to take advantage of here. But then we also have a real serious issue to talk about, and that's malicious GitHub actions. TJ-actions changed -files. That's the name of the action. Its intent, as far as I can tell, is just to tell you what files have changed between branches. Of course, quite useful in that respect. But this particular action has been compromised, and it is now logging secrets. This is an issue because these logs are sometimes publicly accessible. In that case, an attacker would be able to then retrieve these secrets from the logs. So it's a pretty tricky kind of compromise. They're not connecting anywhere outbound or anything like this, so not that easy detectable. Also, they did go back and retroactively changed a couple of sort of tagged versions. So if your build process automatically does pull a certain version from GitHub, you're compromised. Your action will be compromised. This is different from some of these simpler attacks that basically just update an action and then, only if you're using the latest, greatest, newest, you're affected. So if you are using this action, assume that you're compromised. Double check your logs, check there are no secrets being logged, and definitely remove this action from your workflow. Sounds like 23,000 repositories used this particular action. And the next story also comes from GitHub, but from the GitHub security team. So not a vulnerability in GitHub, but instead a vulnerability discovered by the GitHub security team. It's, again, the ruby-saml implementation. SAML, of course, is built around XML and uses XML parsers in order to verify SAML signatures. The problem is that different XML parsers don't always parse the same document the same way. And this has been an ongoing problem with some of the earlier SAML issues, like how comments, for example, are being interpreted in XML messages. Here, again, this sort of issue of parser differentials strikes. ruby-saml uses, interestingly, two different parsers. One is ReXML and then Nokogiri. Both parsers are being used as part of ruby-saml. They're then being used to extract information from the XML document, from our SAML signatures, and that's sort of where the problems happen. These two parsers don't exactly work alike, and that's how you have an authentication bypass. I'll leave the details to the blog post. Gets a little bit more complicated and a little bit too much for the podcast here to explain, but if you are using ruby-saml, make sure you update. And of course, it's one of those components that you may find in various SAML applications. So definitely, watch out for updates. And well, since this is already sort of a little bit of a GitHub episode, let's cover a third and last GitHub event for today. And that's the use of fake GitHub security warnings in order to trick users to give the attacker OAuth permissions. This kind of OAuth phishing, of course, has been around and has been used against Office 365, for example, a lot, where an attacker is sending an email that looks legit. You're clicking on it. You're now being directed to the official GitHub page in this case and being asked to give this application permissions. If the attacker names your application in a, confusing way, then of course users will give it permission. They just call their security alert application here, and there are probably others spinning up as we see it. This is an issue, of course, if you are using GitHub, if you're responsible for a particular piece of code, for a repository, then you may be at the receiving end of these fake security warnings. Well, and that's it for today. So thanks for listening, and talk to you again tomorrow.